Come on, come on.
Oh,
You okay?
My heart really breaks for Raven and SK just because I know people say, why is your heart breaking for SK? Well, I think the bar was set so high for the two of them. I think the way SK presented himself to Raven is going to make it difficult outside of the him cheating and everything bad. I think it's going to make it difficult for the next guy that comes along. And you can see how excited she was at the engagement when he proposed, and for all that to be taken away from her. I think that was really sad. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love is Blind, season 3, episode 15, After the Altar. Okay, so the episode starts with Cole and Zainab having a conversation. Given the build-up of Zainab saying she was so scared, she was very anxious, she was this, I didn't get her conversation with Cole and how flirty she was coming across, and the fact that she was saying, "Oh, I loved you, I still love you," and then she went, "Oh no, I don't love you anymore." And it's like, make it make sense. The way you built it up as though this man broke you down to pieces and you were terrified to be in the same room with him, let alone to be sitting there and smiling and giggling with him, doesn't make sense. She said Cole sort of mentioned that he thought after, she said no at the altar, they would still keep dating, and she went, well, do you think I would have continued to date you when you said you didn't like how I looked and you didn't like the fact that I used to shout? So how did you expect us to continue to date? And Cole was sort of taken aback by that comment. I think he decided not to say anything because before they sat down, he did mention that, he is always very anxious when speaking to someone who's very sensitive, because especially someone who's likely to twist their words, to suit whatever they're aiming for. They sort of slightly touched about the eating stuff, and I didn't see the need for that conversation. I think this is my thought, unpopular opinion. I think Zainab thought, as much as she said that she wasn't trying to be dipty, I think that's how she felt she would be portrayed, because yes, when the show was filmed, it was filmed back to back with season 2, so she might not have known about the Dipti scenario, but she must have, by reunion, have known how Dipti felt about the way she was treated by Shaq, and how the audience and the other castmates felt about the way Dipti was treated with Shaq, and the impact that had on how people were able to sort of empathize with Dipti and love her, and have this compassion for her, and the opportunities that opened up for her. I think this is what Zainab was aiming for when she came to the reunion and tried to dress down Cole in front of everybody. And I think even after the altar, this was her goal, to come out as this person that was aggrieved, and that their partner had done all these bad things to her. I am not saying that Cole did not doing anything wrong. Cole must have said something, but I don't think it was as bad as Zay tried to portray it. And I think Zay tried to play on the emotions of the cast, not only the cast, but the viewing audience, to get sympathy. And sadly, she lacks the likability quality that Dipti has. And it's sad that she could not take responsibility for her own actions, to sort of say, I am sorry for this, that, and the other. Cole is the only person who apologized. I did not want to hear her apologize, but hey, it is what it is. From there, say we're not the right person for each other. I think they both have this shallow aspect in them, in the sense that Cole was saying, he did mention some great qualities he likes in a woman, but he also said he wants someone who looks great in a bikini. The fact that Say was saying, she's healed, confessional, and she's looking for a guy who is, secure in himself, and this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, yeah, all right. I guess so. But I think she still needs to do a lot of work, and she needs to do a lot of self reflection, just like Cole. They both need to do work. They both need to go to counseling, and they need to actually pay attention to their counselors and do as they're told. Then Zay goes to speak to the girls and tell them about her conversation with Cole. And she really didn't seem like, someone who was previously broken and needed people to console her, because you'd expect, given the fact that she's had this very intense conversation with Cole, she'd come back to the girls, she'd cry, and they would, help her understand, and sort of should have this um moment of triumph. But I didn't see that. She just had a conversation like any other. The girls, some of them were a bit skeptical, but hey, it is what it is. On his part, Cole went and had a conversation with Raven and SK, and sort of explained that, he was happy to move on, and that there was no animosity between him and Zay, and that's all he wanted. Um, and then we have Colleen, Matt. They go to brunch with with Matt's parents, so Matt's mom and his stepdad, and they were just having a conversation about the fact that they don't live together, which is a conversation we've heard so many times, and the fact that they want children, and about traveling. And I think Matt's mom did say, Matt's parents and also Colin's parents were concerned about the fact that Matt and Colin were not living together, but they eventually understood that this is something that works for them, and so they might as well just accept it and hopefully things will move on. They did say their next goal was to move in together. I called it. I said they were living together already. I think the show just made it seem like they were not living together, but Colin and Matt were already living together. They moved in because this is already year two, almost year two after they've been married, because they got married the same time season two people got married, and season two people celebrated their anniversaries in June. So I would assume by now they've moved in together, or prior to after the altar being filmed. So I would assume that just before after the altar was filmed, or maybe by now they are living together, and hopefully they succeed at that. And then we have SK and his brother. They go ring shopping, and SK's brother is actually trying to make his brother aware that this is very important, that he takes this seriously, because this is a second opportunity for him to do right by Raven. The brother thinks Raven is a great girl, so he's hoping that she says yes, and that this time it will be all will go according to plan. I think Diamond Direct was promoting their products in the show, because you could see the little bags on the side and stuff. He picked a very nice ring for her. I liked the ring. He picked a very nice ring, so that was good. And I'm really sad talking about SK and Raven. And then we have Brennan and Alexa. They're talking about the night before the party, and the fact that they had a great time, and their next goal is to start, working on their family. Alexa is very spoiled by Brennan. I think this is why they work, in the sense that Brennan is just sorry. He just says, but I think Brennan is a yes man. I think his goal is to sort of please his wife, and so he'll do anything and everything to make her happy. And I think this is why they work. I think if Alexa would never succeed in marriage with someone who is stubborn and who sort of calls her out on her crap, and I don't think Brennan is that type of man. He gives her a present of a little vest, and it's cute. It's cute, with Brennan's name on it. So I really like that for them. Um, we then have Matt and Colin at apparently Colin's flat, although it looks like the flat that they filmed the show in. So I don't understand whether that's where she lives. I thought she shared a house with other people, so it doesn't look like it's a house that she shares with other people. I think this is where she and Matt are living, but the show didn't want to make it seem like that, because there's pictures of Colin and Matt in the flat, in the kitchen. But anyway, they do discuss, moving in together and their plans and what sort of house they're looking for. Matt wants a new house, Colin wants an old house. And I think Matt and Colin, yeah, it's awkward how they behave, but I think that's just them. I think that's just them. They do have pet peeves with one another, and I think they need to work on understanding each other, and the fact that Matt needs to work on maybe his temper, or what. I don't know what it is that makes Colin nervous. I don't think it's Matt per se. I think she's not very good at public speaking. That's just me. And I think because of that, that's why she always looks like she's a deer in headlights. Even when she's sitting with the other girls, she's the same way. So I don't think it's anything to do with Matt. I think it's just who she is as a person. And then, last but not least, we have Raven and SK. SK takes Raven out apparently for a romantic meal, as is his last night in Dallas before he goes back. And Raven sort of says that this is something that they do a lot because they don't get to spend a lot of time together. And it was sweet. I really liked the setting, the flowers everywhere, the musician, and it was a sweet proposal. And I think it's sad that it didn't work out for them, because I think had it worked out for them, Raven, this is what she deserved. And part of me thinks that the reason why SK's ex-girlfriend came out and sort of said SK and I were dating was because she found out SK had proposed to Raven, because it sort of makes sense that she found out SK had proposed to Raven, and suddenly the door was shut, so there were no opportunities for her to travel with SK or to get anything from SK because he was definitely getting married. I think when SK said no at the altar, she thought she had a chance. And so when SK then turned around and came to Texas and proposed to Raven, somebody must have told her that SK proposed to Raven and told her that, the the money train is gone. And so I think this is why she revealed that she and SK had an affair while he was dating Raven. And sadly, because of the public pressure, I think had it not come out in the open, had it been something that they had found out in private, I think they could have worked on it. Because initially Raven had said she would stick by SK. But I think because of public pressure and everything else, and her friends coming out and saying a lot of stuff, I think this is why they eventually decided to go their own separate ways, which is very sad. I really like them as a couple. Um, and I'm sad that they broke up because at the end we see Raven just crying and saying, she fell in love with SK, the person that everybody else fell in love with. And it's sad that he was not the man that she thought he was. And, it's going to be difficult for her because she had really, brought down her walls for SK. And sadly, things did not go according to plan. She only found out he was cheating and stuff. And it's really sad. I know during the season people were saying, "Oh, they don't look like they're in love." And I think they were. Raven was in love with SK. I think SK had baggage that he came into Love Is Blind with, and didn't expect anyone to sort of be interested in him, to like him enough to want to marry him. And I think this is the reason why he said not today. I think because he wanted to go home and sort out his mess. And I think in going home to sort out his mess, I think this is where he spent the time with I don't even know her name, his ex-girlfriend, and whoever else was claiming to have dated him. Um, I don't know. Season three for me was a bit strange. I think it's mainly because of some of the very toxic couples. I know in season two we had Natalie and Shane, and we had Dipti, and I've forgotten his name. I did call him Shaq before, but I don't think that was his name. And so season three, it seems the producers actually, or whoever the casting department actually did a worse job. And I can only imagine what's to come in season four. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and see you next season. Bye everyone.